to Colin, who is in Canada. Colin, how are you, mate? And how are you feeling after that 2-1 defeat to Newcastle?
I'm well, Barnaby. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound all right. It felt like inevitability to me, but also Spurs did put in a shift second half. But just for me, the refereeing for that goal, I don't care if Joe Hart tells me as a co-commentator or as the pundit that it's letter of the law. For me, those handballs are given all day, every day, on every football pitch in the Premier League in the centre circle. And the fact that he didn't give it, for me, was just changing the game, and it's bad refereeing.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Obviously, it had a huge impact in the game. I think there are some positive takeaways from the game, but that was obviously a pivotal point, and we paid for that. We've had our own share of good luck in the last year and a half when you think of the Liverpool call at Spurs last year and things, so it does kind of even out. It's frustrating because obviously we needed to get something out of that game and we didn't.
Yeah, very frustrating. So you talked about some positives there, Colin. What are they?
I thought Austin was great. I was really, I'm not going to fault Fraser Forster for anything he's done. I think he stepped in and done a really admirable job. But it's really nice to see Austin get a chance, and I thought he played very well. I was a little worried of the first goal. I thought maybe could have got a touch in the first goal, but I think he was overall a real bright spot. I thought we played Newcastle better than we have in the last 4 games. If you look at they beat us 4-1, 4-0, and 2-1. So we're 0-4 in the last 4 against them. And I really thought Eddie Howe delivered a masterclass in those 2 games at Newcastle. So I thought we played them better. I thought the substitutions we made in the second half were better. But, I kept thinking about being on with you, Barnaby, after the game, and I thought about expectations and where are we in terms of expectations for this club? And I think if we can define where we are in expectations, it answers a lot of questions, particularly about the manager. So I don't know where are we happy? Where do we want to be with this club right now?
Do you know what? Listen, I agree with you. I want to be in a position where we are enjoyable to watch, but also where it's not inevitable when I go to and watch a game that I know that we're going to lose. And I do understand that a lot of that is down to the injuries and the illness. But my fear for Ange is, again, I'll state it again, that a lot of the injuries it cannot be coincidence that we get so many of the same muscle injuries. Mm-hmm. It has to be somewhat down to the relentlessness of the training and the relentlessness on the pitch. You saw it today from Newcastle. Every time Newcastle won a free kick, they took their time over it. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, a chance to get the team back, recovered, some air into their lungs, and for their muscles to recover. And Ange wants us just playing the free kick first time, every time. And I get the idea. The idea is that you out-stamina the opposition, that they fatigue. But we do not have the squad to play that at the moment. And as a result, we're continually losing more and more players. That is my problem for him. And that is where I think it kind of disconnects with my expectation, because if I don't have any doubts whatsoever that if we had the first team on the pitch, we would not be currently in 12th or 13th or wherever we're going to end up after this week. We would be in 6th or 7th, maybe even 5th. Mm-hmm. But he needs to get the first team on the pitch. And if he continues to play in a way that's going to get them injured all the time, just like players got injured all the time at Celtic, and I've seen the reports, then it's not going to work for him.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point about game pacing. I mean, I'm a big Eddie Howe fan. It's like looking for another girlfriend, right? It's like, Eddie Howe looks really great. There's a lot of managers. Unai Emery looks great. But there's a certain, people ask on social media if he's out of his depth, and I think the jury's still out on that. I think you look at the way somebody like Eddie Howe manages a game in terms of pacing, as you pointed out, and so on. They seem really well drilled and really cognizant of the fact that those sorts of breaks within the game are important and so on. And I'm not an Ange disliker. I'm just not sure yet. I'm not sure because we haven't seen the consistent results to make us understand whether or not he is you know, the best managers in the world coach the English Premier League, and is he one of them is the question.
Yeah, really good point, Colin. Colin, I've only got about 15 minutes left. I've got people to get through, but thank you so much once again for calling in. Thanks for being part of the show, and I'll speak to you after the next game, I hope.
Okay, Barnaby, thanks so much.
Man, thanks, Colin. Bye-bye.